We say hello to Michael Buffer, who's going to be the ring announcer Saturday when Anthony Joshua squares off against Andy Ruiz Jr. It's, of course, at MSG. Limited seating still available. Michael, thank you so much for dropping by. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Good to be here. This is fun.
Yeah. Tailor-made, very fly, very fly.
Seersucker, cotton. I can't believe it. Off the rack, no problem, but, you know.
It fits you well.
Thanks.
What do you think about the fight Saturday?
I'm glad we have it because, as you know, the original opponent was Big Baby Miller, undefeated, heavyweight, and why these guys do it, I don't know, but he was taking enhancement drugs and not just like accidental pills or like, oh, there's a vitamin. It seems like he just wasn't doing the right thing. Yeah. And of course they had to, say you're out. And they got a good replacement. Andy Ruiz he's a real heavyweight. You know, a lot of people say like, oh, this will be a lopsided fight, isn't it? It might be, but didn't Hasim Rahman knock out Lennox Lewis in South Africa and become heavyweight champion? Yeah. Didn't a guy named Buster Douglas with, 40-1, 80-1, some unbelievable in Tokyo beat Mike Tyson? So one punch can change a lot when you get punched in the mouth and it's from a guy that weighs over 200 pounds. Right. That's what heavyweight boxing is all about.
So we come through an era here where the catchphrase for the sportscaster was a big thing. And you have perhaps the most famous catchphrase of all time.
Oh, wow, okay.
I'm not going to
go ahead, you can say it. Go for it.
You going to try it? Because if you try it, then I have to try it.
Yeah, could I have my attorney? We got one on the hook here.
Well, we'll just let Bill try it if you're going to do that. Then.
Make that me on the spot. Ready? Let's get ready to rumble.
Never mind, we're okay.
You want to try?
All right, I'll try it. Let's get ready to rumble.
Better.
That's a little better. That's pretty good.
Just in case if you need me to step in, I can do that for you, Michael.
Yes.
If you need me to do it.
Yes.
So just in case, we'll exchange
now
contact information.
I know the call to make that.
How did that come about? And tell everyone the importance of the fact that you trademarked the phrase.
I'll tell you how it came about. It's 37 years now I'm doing this. And when the fighters were coming to the ring for the main event, and it's the era of electronics, so music, excitement, spotlight on the fighter, if the hood's up, they go like this, it goes down there in the ring. Everybody gets excited. Then the ring announcers, myself included when I started out, had to introduce the entire boxing commission. You'd have a chairman and 4 or 5 commissioners, 4 doctors, 3 judges, a referee. If it was one of these world sanctioning organizations, then they have their president and a supervisor. And I remember one fight I introduced 19 people.
Wow. 19
before the fighters. They're the stars of the show. And we've just taken all the energy and excitement out of the room by, you go to a ball game. Can you imagine sitting there before kickoff or before the first pitch and they would introduce the entire front office staff of Major League Baseball, so you can see where I'm going.
Yeah.
And I wanted something to bring the energy back, something to let the fans know, because I'm a fan, and I love to see the stars get introduced. When I was a kid, it was great watching an all-star game, and they introduced the one team on the third base line, and then the other team. Yeah. That's exciting to me. I love to see the players come out and tip their hat. So I wanted the fighters to get that respect back and to get that energy and have their fans have something to cheer about. And you hear, gentlemen, start your engines. Yeah. That means the race is going to start, so you're excited. So I tried, I wanted something I messed around with, man your battle stations. Nothing happening. Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seat belts, 12 rounds. What did he say?
Just ball it up, throw it away.
Yeah, exactly. Piles of crumpled up paper all over the place. And the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali, used to do at the weigh-in, at a press conference, I'm so pretty, I'm ready to rumble, rumble young man. And that phrase was there. And so I started saying, let's get ready to rumble. It was a lot different in the early days, especially if I saw that clip you had there from Buffalo, New York, back about 85 years ago. And it's grown through the years.
There you go. Right here.
Still fly.
And what's
Still
amazing
fly.
is that you
Tailor-made,
know
yeah.
exactly when you wore that, what year and
Well, it's
what
not-
fight, right?
When you said what fight it was, then I remember the fight. So, yeah.
But, you know, talking about the phrase, you then trademarked it.
Yeah.
What made you trademark "Let's get ready to rumble"?
You know, it started to become more. I mean, I used to have guys tell me like, "What's with that crap?" You know, and traditionalists, and you know, like, well, you know, I have my reason. I just explained it. But people started to use it. It would show up in a headline before a big fight. You know, ready to rumble. The whole back page of the Philadelphia Daily News once, and so. I go, wait a minute, this is, I guess me saying this has made it popular. Yeah. And it's intellectual property as I, you know, said it and developed it became popular. And, you know, went through a series of attorneys that 4 or 5 had no clue, even though they had, you know, huge offices, and then finally found the right guy to get it trademarked, and,
right.
And I own it.
You mentioned some big upsets in the heavyweight division
Yeah.
in the years past, obviously with, you know, Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson. But at this point, with this generation of fighters, how important is the heavyweight division in boxing today?
Heavyweight division is always the king of boxing. I mean, heavyweights, I think after that, you go to the middleweight division, it seems to have that, still has a sort of a glory, but
Yeah.
it's heavyweights. Like in West Side Story, you're the heavyweight king, you know, and then one of the lyrics of the songs, it's that title. Yeah. It's the big guys. People go because they know one punch can change everything that's happening. Mm-hmm. George Foreman is losing every round to Michael Moorer, knocks him out in the 10th round at 44 years old and becomes heavyweight champion. Wow. That's why people pay to see a heavyweight fight. Then you add the title, and you add it to Madison Square Garden, which is almost like a star and a symbol of its own. And you've got that energy, you know, Marciano, Joe Louis, Floyd Patterson, Frazier Ali, you know, they fought at the Garden. And it's something that's magical, if anything.
What have been the most memorable fights that you've personally worked at MSG?
The very first one that I did was in June of '83, and Davey Moore and Roberto Duran. Duran was supposed to be washed up. Davey Moore was only in 10, 11, 12 fights or something, and had won the junior middleweight title. You know, here's the former lightweight champion fighting at 154 pounds, and he comes up and just, you know, as a matter of fact, Davey Moore never was anything again after that fight. A great fight, a sellout. And I went from being a ring announcer with 6 months experience to really never being too nervous again after that. It just was such a great night.
What's been that emotion like for you when you have a big heavyweight bout or any fight, when you're inside of the Garden? You said you're a fan of the sport, you love boxing. So when you step inside of that ring, just break that down for us and what you feel within your body.
Yeah, when they start playing, like I say, it's that electronic age and with lighting and everything now, pardon me, the ring walks kind of set it up today. It's so exciting compared to what it was, you know, 30 and 40 years ago. And the energy builds, the fans are with it, and I've sort of whittled away at introducing all those commissioners so we get that short thing and we can get to Let's Get Ready to Rumble and meet the stars of the show. So it's just, I become a fan while I'm doing it, and sometimes I'm like, man, I can't wait to get out of the ring and watch the fight. You know, it's just, but it's exciting. You know, a main event. That's why they say this is the main event, whether it's in Davenport, Iowa, or Madison Square Garden. It's the big fight, the fight of the night.
For more great videos from the MSG 150, check out right there. And remember, our show is on Monday through Thursday, 8 to 10:30 p.m. on MSG Network and MSG Go.